Mitsubishi Heating and Cooling Systems. Live better. Contact All Weather Heating and Cooling today.
Here's your Newsradio KONP forecast. Isolated rain showers likely, with fog in spots early this afternoon. Otherwise, cloudy skies expected. Daytime highs approaching 55. North winds 5 to 10 miles per hour. Mainly cloudy skies expected tonight. Chance for showers. Lows level off around 44. Slight chance for showers tomorrow, 59. I'm weatherology meteorologist Paul Trombley. Currently, it's 52 degrees.
From ABC Sports, this is Rich Cantu. The Stanley Cup Western Conference Final is set after Game 7 of the Oilers-Canucks West semis. Second period, Vancouver, the Oilers with the man advantage.
Bouchard, one-timer, ripped wide. Rebound, Nugent-Hopkins scores! Ryan Nugent-Hopkins! Power play goal!
On 6:30 CHED, that gave Edmonton a 3-0 lead. Vancouver closed 3-2 after third period tallies from Connor Garland and Philip Roenick. The Oilers would hold on to close out a 3-2 victory and the series. The captain, Connor McDavid.
I knew it was going to be a tight game. I don't think anyone came in here thinking it was going to be some type of cakewalk. It was tight. I thought we did a good job of responding.
Edmonton will tangle with the Dallas Stars in the Western Final, Game 1 Thursday night. Baseball, Boston's Rafael Devers set a club record Monday night.
0-1 to Devers, and he swings, launches, left field, back toward the wall. He's done it again! Rafael Devers, a sixth straight game with a home run.
On WEEI, Devers surpassing Hall of Famers Ted Williams and Jimmy Fox for the record. Boston blanked the Rays 6-0. Don't see this too often. Brewers at Marlins, top six. Christian Yelich on third.
And the 0-1 in there with a strike. Yelich trying to steal home. Here's the throw to the plate. He's safe!
On WTMJ, that made it 2-0 Milwaukee, but a 10th inning Josh Bell single won it for the Fish 3-2. The Mariners ripped Yankees closer Clay Holmes for 4 top of the ninth runs to end the Pinstripers' 7-game win streak, 5-4. WNBA, Caitlin Clark's Indiana Fever lost 88-84 to the Connecticut Sun, falling to 0-4 on the campaign. This is Rich Cantu, ABC Sports.
In local sports, hard work does pay off, and it paid off big time for Peninsula Pirate All-American guard Javon Irvin out of Tacoma. Irvin has signed with NCAA Division I Mount St. Mary's University out of Emmitsburg, Maryland. Irvin, an all-NWAC first-team Northern Conference member, averaged 19 points per game in his sophomore year for Peninsula. The Mountaineers are members of the Metro Atlantic Athletic Conference. They've made the NCAA basketball tournament 5 times. Pirate head coach Bryce Jacobson believes he might have found Irvin's replacement in Alaska 4A first-team All-State selection Akeem Suleiman from a powerhouse school, East High, out of Anchorage. The 6'3" shooting guard led East to 2 straight 4-8 state championships. In his 3 years at East, the Thunderbirds went 39-3 in league play, 79-8 overall. And in this year's state championship game, he scored 20 points in a 57-41 win over Service High School. Former Port Angeles Rough Rider Landon Siebel just completed his sophomore year at Skagit Valley College, playing for the Cardinals baseball team. Siebel had a good year, playing in 30 games, hit .203, 16 hits, 8 RBIs, had 19 walks, 5 runs scored, 2 doubles, and had a triple. Now the State 2A Fast Pitch Tournament is coming up in Sela. We will not be broadcasting the Port Angeles games here on the radio due to some access and technical issues. And if you can't make the trip to Sela, we have a couple of other options for you. If Port Angeles and WF West both win their first-round games, the WF West Port Angeles game at 3:30 on Friday would be broadcast on KELA Radio out of Centralia, and fans here could visit their webpage to find a stream icon for that game. KMNT Radio out of Centralia will also be broadcasting some of the games from the tournament. And Caps Radio at 6:60 a.m. locally and streamed at capsradio.com will broadcast all of the number 1 ranked Cedro Woolley games. The Cedro Woolley Kingston game will be broadcast at 11 a.m. on Friday. In Olympic Junior Babe Ruth action, Local 155 beat Swain 7-3. Local jumped out on top in the first inning as Jaron Tolliver doubled, scoring Felix Gonzalez and Alex Ross. Ethan Barbary then brought in Carson Waddell. Waddell started for Local 155 and went 4 innings, giving up 1 hit with 7 strikeouts. Asher Irvine came in for 2 innings. He struck out 3 batters. Gonzalez closed the game with 2 strikeouts. Waddell and Tulliver both had 2 RBIs. Ross had 2 stolen bases and scored 2 runs in the game as well. For Swains, Lalo Dominguez had 3 hits. Mariners pulling off a big comeback last night in beating the New York Yankees. See if they can do it again against the Bronx Bombers. We'll be on the air this afternoon at 3 o'clock here on KONP.
Nothing makes being outdoors better than having the right gear and the right crew. So here's an idea. Let Mountain Dew supply the gear and you bring the friends. Because when you buy specially marked multi-packs of Mountain Dew, you can collect points and earn epic limited edition outdoor gear. We're talking everything from custom Mountain Dew camp chairs and backpack coolers to exclusive Mountain Dew tents, fishing boats, and more. So buy Dew, collect points, get gear, and get outside with Mountain Dew outdoor gear.
Open to legal U.S. residents 18+. Subject to program terms at dewoutdoors.com and 12/31/24. Void or prohibited.
North Olympic Healthcare Network Family Dentistry welcomes Dr. Zachary Bibb and Dr. John Iyer to our team of highly skilled dentists providing friendly and gentle care to patients of all ages. Our comprehensive range of services includes diagnostic exams, cleanings, fillings, root canals, crowns, and more. We offer affordable payment options and gladly accept Apple Health Medicaid plans. To learn more, visit nohn-pa.org/dentistry.
It's 20 minutes after 12 o'clock now.
Newsradio KONP Business. This is a Bloomberg Money Minute. Just in time for the summer driving season, the Biden administration is releasing 1 million barrels of gas from one of its reserves. The Northeast Gasoline Supply Reserve was authorized in 2014, 2 years after Hurricane Sandy damaged refineries and left terminals underwater. But the cash has never been used. Energy Secretary Jennifer Granholm says it'll provide relief at the gas pump when Americans need it most. For those who fly, it could be crowded this summer. The TSA says it's expecting the busiest travel season ever, with predictions of as many as 3 million passengers a day. A coalition of Tesla shareholders is urging its peers to reject CEO Elon Musk's $56 billion pay package before it comes back up for a vote next month. The group has put out a letter saying Musk is too distracted by his 5 other companies. Stocks are marginally higher today, up between a fraction and a 0.1%. I'm Nancy Lyons, Bloomberg Radio.
Let's check the traffic next. It's brought to you by Angela's Furniture and by McCrory Carpet One.
The Memorial Day mattress sale is going on all month long at Angela's Furniture. Tempur-Pedic brings savings of up to $500 off the new Tempur-Luxe Adapt Adjustable mattresses. And you can also save up to $800 on select Stearns & Foster adjustable mattress sets powered by Sleep Tracker AI. Get 0% financing OAC on purchases over $1,000. These savings are for a limited time only. The Memorial Day mattress sale going on now at Angela's Furniture, 1114 East 1st Street.
It's National Karastan Month at McCrory Carpet One. When you choose Karastan flooring, you choose timeless pieces that fit perfectly within your home, flawlessly crafted for long-lasting beauty. And when you pair Karastan with expert installation from McCrory Carpet One, you have flooring that stands the test of time. During Karastan Month, you'll find the biggest Karastan savings of the year, with prices starting at just $2.99 a square foot for carpet and $4.99 a square foot for LVP. National Karastan Month at McCrory Carpet One going on now.
Newsradio KONP, traffic and roads.
Up to Clallam Transit Dispatch Center we go. That is where Steve's standing by. He's got an eye on the roads for us this noon hour on a Tuesday. Good afternoon, Steve.
Hi there. Hey, good afternoon, everybody. Yeah, kind of busy out there right now if you're out and about, both Port Angeles and Sequim, especially downtown Port Angeles. Coho arriving, unloading. Just a lot of traffic through the downtown area, especially Front and Lincoln, First and Lincoln areas, so be careful through there. If you're on the highway between the two cities, no real problems. Things moving along at the speed limit, definitely busy out there, but like I say, it's moving along pretty smooth. Beyond Sequim, Hood Canal Bridge, good to go with no scheduled marine openings. It looks like state ferries more or less running on time today, so just be that should be a good thing for you. West End traffic, a little busy out of Port Angeles. We do have some road work going on just west of PA, around the Benson Road, Airport Road area. Other than that, should be a good drive for you out there. Just rain showers, but moving along at the speed limit. So everybody take care. Be safe out there. This is Steve reporting live from Clallam Transit for KONP.
Hey, thank you, Steve. Currently, it is kind of gloomy out there. Clouds, little rain showers here and there, some fog patches as well. It's 50 in Port Townsend out east. Out west at Forks, it's 52. It's 53 in Sequim right now. 50 in downtown Port Angeles, and at Fairchild Airport, they're checking in at 52 now. Well, one of TV's most popular shows, a little closer to returning. More on that from ABC's Jason Nathanson.
The cast of Yellowstone saddling up once again. Paramount says filming on the second half of the 5th and final season of the super popular Western drama is underway. The involvement of its lead star, though, Kevin Costner, still unknown.
I love Montana, but I'm doing this for our family.
Fans were shocked when it was announced that Costner's character, John Dutton, would be written off and he wouldn't appear in the final episodes, though Costner has said he wants to return. The show is supposed to return to Paramount Plus later this year.
A Better Life with Dr. Sanjay Gupta.
Keeping my brain sharp is something I think about a lot. In fact, I wrote a whole book about how to build a better brain at any age. If you haven't had a chance to read it, I hope you'll check it out. I want to tell you about a study out of the Rush Institute for Healthy Aging in Chicago. Researchers there found that living a healthy lifestyle with a focus on nutritious diet, regular exercise, minimum alcohol consumption, as well as other healthy habits could be remarkably helpful in keeping your brain sharp into old age. And that was even if your brain already had signs of beta amyloid or tau, which are two hallmark signs of Alzheimer's. In other words, according to Richard Isaacson, a leading expert in the field, those lifestyle changes alone provided the brain resilience against some of the most common causes of dementia. And it really is never too late to start. I'm Dr. Sanjay Gupta, helping you live a better life.
Hi, this is Jeremiah, and a little thing I love about the Chick-fil-A Chicken Minis is that soft roll with that honey butter brushed on it. It's so fluffy, like a cloud. It might be a mini, but it doesn't taste like a mini. That sweet, savory bite and that fluffy roll with that honey butter on it and that crispy chicken, it's an awesome way to start your day, the perfect breakfast treat.
Breakfast starts with Chicken Minis and Simply Orange Juice on the Chick-fil-A app. Real customer paid for their testimonial.
Are you the parent of a 2 to 7-year-old? Listen closely for an exciting free radio offer. By now, you've probably heard of ABC Mouse, the Parents' Choice Award-winning online learning program that's actually changing the lives of early learners everywhere.
ABC Mouse is like a little one-on-one teacher. It has helped her so much.
Right now, we're offering a special radio promo to try it free for a month, but you have to go to abcmouse.com/radio to claim your free month. That's abcmouse.com/radio.
Sponsored by Age of Learning.
Hello, I'm Jerry Stewart, and this is One Moment in America. Everyone is following someone. Who are you following? I'll tell you one story after this important message.
On this Memorial Day, we remember the great men and women who served our country and those still serving today to keep us safe and free. This day is more than just time off work, picnics, parades, and shopping for the big sales. All good things, but they cause us to get off track as to why we have this special day. To get your own copy of this upcoming Memorial Day program, One Final Salute, go to our website at www.jerrystewartusa.com and subscribe to get your free download of this program that will be airing on Memorial Day all across our great nation. Our website is a great way to spend quality time as a family and learn the history of America. And on this Memorial Day, you will hear the stories as told by the men and women who were there. Go to www.jerrystewartusa.com and subscribe to get your free download of One Final Salute, the upcoming Memorial Day program. God bless you.
The story is told of a motorist driving through a fog so dense she could do nothing but follow the headlights in front of her. As she followed, suddenly the car in front slammed on his brakes and the two cars collided. The lady was furious. "Hey, why didn't you signal that you were stopping?" "Why should I?" came the reply. "I'm in my own garage." And today, people's lives are just that way. Without their own clear value system, they instead follow others through the fog of life, while all the time God has already laid out a clear path for all of us to follow. Who are you following? Is it a foggy, unclear life you lead? Turn to God. Ask Him to lead you, and He won't let you down. I'm Jerry Stewart, and that was One Moment in America.
For the Washington State News Network, I'm Rob Francis. The search for a missing aircraft on Snoqualmie Pass came to a tragic end as the wreckage of the plane was found near Humpback Mountain yesterday. The body of 69-year-old Jerry Ridinger was found among the plane debris. Ridinger left Arlington Sunday afternoon, and when he did not arrive in Ephrata that night, his wife called 911. The National Transportation Safety Board is looking into the cause of the crash. 2 people are hospitalized following the shooting at the Armed Forces Torchlight Parade at the Spokane Lilac Festival. Police say the shooting happened during an argument inside a business along the parade route. 2 people were hit and injured. 1 person was arrested shortly after the shooting. And 3 businesses in Tacoma have installed loudspeakers to play music in an effort to keep people from loitering. 2 Walgreens stores and a 7-Eleven have resorted to the loud music to keep the homeless away. They play classical music, including Bach's Dracula theme. Homeless campers say it won't have an effect on them. Neighbors aren't happy, and the city of Tacoma has received over a dozen noise complaints. For more on these stories and a number of others, you can download the WSNN mobile app free from the Google Play and the Apple stores. You can always visit our website for all state news at WashingtonStateNews.net.
If you're a contractor, it's now easier for you to do business with the Department of Labor and Industries. Go to lni.wa.gov/skip the line and make an appointment with us ahead of time. No waiting around, no wasted time away from your job site. You get in, get out, and get on your way. Easy. So contractors, just go to lni.wa.gov/skip the line to make an appointment and get back to doing what you do best.
The possibility of lung cancer can be pretty scary, especially if you're one of approximately 8 million current or former smokers at high risk. That's why SaveByTheScan.org wants you to know that now there's a breakthrough low-dose CT scan that can detect lung cancer early, and it only takes 60 seconds. You stop smoking, now start screening. For an easy quiz to see if you're eligible, visit SaveByTheScan.org. It could save your life. SaveByTheScan.org is brought to you by the American Lung Association's Lung Force Initiative and the Ad Council.
Breaking news this hour from townhall.com. I'm John Scott. The Memorial Day weekend is straight ahead. AAA spokeswoman Ixa Diaz says travel records could be set this coming holiday weekend.
We're projecting nearly 44 million travelers over the Memorial Day weekend, which comes close to matching 2005. But in the car travel category, we're projecting 38.4 million people, and that would be a new record for drivers over the long holiday weekend.
Diaz says the average price for a gallon of gas is $3.59. Also at townhall.com, the defense has rested its case in Donald Trump's criminal trial. The conclusion of witness testimony brings the trial one step closer to closing arguments, which will take place next week. Jurors have been sent home and will not be returning until next Tuesday. A very familiar name is on the ballot in Georgia, where it's primary day. Correspondent Laura Winters reports.
Here in Fulton County, voters heading to the polls where DA Fani Willis on the ballot. Her legal case against Donald Trump is at a standstill. She's managed to stay on the case while the lead prosecutor she had a romantic relationship with was forced to resign. An appeals court will revisit the question of whether Willis should be removed from the matter. She is facing a primary challenger today, a lawyer who has run before but has failed to gain traction. Laura Winters, Atlanta, Georgia.
The Biden administration releasing 1 million barrels of gasoline from the Northeast Reserve, established after Superstorm Sandy in a bid to lower prices at the pump this summer. The sale from storage sites in New Jersey and Maine, it will be allocated in increments of 100,000 barrels at a time. The Dow had 26 points now, the NASDAQ adding 13. More at townhall.com.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
This story is called The Ugly Truth About Timeshare. If you think you've done your family a favor by buying a timeshare, you need my help. Hello, I'm Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group. 10 years ago, I started helping folks cancel their timeshare. In the process, started Wesley Financial Group to do one thing: help people get out of their timeshare nightmare. When you buy a timeshare, the timeshare company can raise your annual maintenance fees at will. I recently helped a couple that had their maintenance fees go from $800 to $3,200 a year. They also received a $4,000 assessment for a hurricane that was over 1,000 miles away. Sound crazy? Stop the insanity today. Call my office now. If we take you as a client, I guarantee we'll cancel your timeshare or you'll pay nothing.
Want out of your timeshare? Call now for your free timeshare exit info kit. 800-656-1155. 800-656-1155. 800-656-1155.
The Biden administration's push to reclassify marijuana as a less dangerous drug does not have the support of the Drug Enforcement Administration, which wants more information on supporting science to reclassify marijuana. UMass graduates, they're being gifted $1,000.
Billionaire philanthropist Rob Hale surprised the University of Massachusetts Dartmouth graduating class by pointing to a nearby truck holding envelopes stuffed with cash. Hale told the students each would get $1,000, but there was a condition. They were to keep $500 and give the rest away. He said the greatest joy he and his wife Karen had experienced in their lives had come from the act of giving. It's the fourth year in a row that he has given a similar gift to a group of graduating students. Last year, it was to students at UMass Boston, and before that, it was to students at Roxbury Community College and Quincy College. I'm Haya Panjwani.
Breaking news and analysis at townhall.com. The granddaughter of Elvis Presley fighting plans to publicly auction his Graceland estate in Memphis after a company attempted to sell the property based on claims that a loan using it as collateral was not repaid. A public auction for the estate had been scheduled for Thursday, but a judge blocked the sale after Presley's granddaughter sought a temporary restraining order and filed a lawsuit. The field for the NCAA baseball tournament takes shape this week.
Conference tournaments will determine most of the 30 automatic qualifiers. Also at stake are 34 at-large bids. The 16 regional hosts will be announced Sunday, the rest of the 64-team field on Monday. The College World Series is June 14th through the 23rd or 24th in Omaha. Top seed in the Power 5 are North Carolina in the ACC, Illinois in the Big 10, Oklahoma in the Big 12, Arizona in the Pac-12, and Tennessee in the SEC. Rhonda Rockster reporting.
More on these stories at townhall.com.
This is the Newsradio KONP Noon Report.
Todd Orth live from the KONP News Center. Here's a look at what's happening on this Tuesday, May 21st. Olympic National Park starting a new program to combat aquatic invasive species in Lake Crescent and Lake Ozette. The program features free boat cleaning stations as well as public outreach and environmental DNA sampling, trying to mitigate existing invasive species and prevent new ones. In 2019 and 2022, New Zealand mud snails and Asian clams were detected in Lake Crescent. Asian clams were also found in Lake Ozette in 2018. Both species reproduce rapidly, with Asian clams sometimes reaching densities over 20,000 individuals per square meter. The invasive species can severely disrupt native ecosystems. Now, the introduction of the species believed to have occurred through recreational boats. And to curb that spread, boaters are encouraged to use the free cleaning stations set up at Lake Ozette and at the Fairholme, Storm King, and Log Cabin Resort launch stations on Lake Crescent. The cleaning stations will be available starting tomorrow at Lake Crescent and then next week at Lake Ozette. All watercraft, including boats, kayaks, rafts, paddle boards, and other flotation devices, should be cleaned before and after use at the lakes. A program aiding Port Angeles residents with behavioral health issues is set to expand into western Clallam County. The Rediscovery Program, a collaboration between the Port Angeles Police Department and the Olympic Peninsula Community Clinic, will now extend its services to the city of Forks and the surrounding area there. The Rediscovery Program partners mental health professionals with police officers during calls involving suspected mental health crises. The ride-along model allows counselors to connect individuals with appropriate service providers such as Peninsula Behavioral Health and the North Olympic Healthcare Network, rather than defaulting to law enforcement and potential incarceration. The program has been effective in Port Angeles for years, with a $158,000 grant now from the Washington Association of Sheriffs and Police Chiefs. OPCC will expand the model to Forks, working alongside the Clallam County Sheriff's Office there. OPCC CEO Scott Brandon.
One thing that's exciting about this is that by partnering with Clallam County Sheriff's Office, now we're able to take a program that has been successful within the city of Port Angeles, show that it is equally successful and beneficial out in the West End. And by doing this small-scale expansion, once we prove the model, that will open the opportunity for more funding, better coverage, and better service availability in the West End in the future.
Currently, OPCC has 2 staff members in Forks, a substance use disorder professional and an intensive case manager. The new grant will fund an additional field response employee, enhancing the program's reach and effectiveness, according to Brandon. In other news, the Olympic Discovery Trail has been named Washington's best outdoor workout spot and one of the top 5 in the country. That according to a survey by the company Lift Vault. The Discovery Trail, which traverses the Olympic Peninsula, offers diverse landscapes and a serene environment with dense rainforests, expansive lavender fields, and views of the Olympic Mountains. Lift Vault officials say it's ideal for long-distance runners and cyclists. Now, the Olympic Discovery Trail came in 4th on the list. In first, it was Chautauqua Park in Colorado, Lake Tahoe State Park in number 2, and Acadia National Park in Maine came in 3rd place. Lift Vault officials say the poll highlights the growing popularity of outdoor fitness and the importance of natural beauty in enhancing workout experiences. The search for a missing pilot ended yesterday with the discovery of an aircraft and its wreckage near Humpback Mountain west of Snoqualmie Pass. Ground search crews found the crash site about 1:30 yesterday afternoon. The pilot, 69-year-old Jerry Redinger, was found dead inside the plane in that heavily forested area. He had departed Arlington Municipal Airport Sunday afternoon. His wife reported him missing about 6 p.m. when he did not arrive in Ephrata Sunday night. Western Washington faces an increased wildfire risk this season, with predictions indicating heightened danger heading into the hottest months. The National Interagency Fire Center's May outlook shows normal wildfire risk statewide through June, but above normal risk for Western Washington in July and August. The rest of the state will likely see normal conditions. Businesses in Tacoma are using strategies like playing loud music to prevent loitering and camping on their properties. At a Walgreens there, classical organ music plays under the store's awning. Jennifer Cotto, a spokesperson for the company, said the program aims to discourage loitering and has led to a significant decrease in that activity. Similarly, a 7-Eleven at South 19th and South Trafton Streets in Tacoma uses classical orchestra music to deter the loiterers there. The store manager, who wished to stay anonymous, noted a drop in the presence of homeless individuals since they started that music there as well. And the State Department of Transportation is reviewing safety protocols with workers following an attack on 2 contractors last week linked to a road rage incident. Investigators report a man drove into a construction zone on I-5 and attacked workers before being shot by a state patrol trooper. WSDOT spokesperson Tom Pierce said the department met with contractors to talk about situational awareness and other safety measures as construction season gets underway. WSDOT traffic cameras captured the man ramming a work truck and attacking workers with a hammer near Union Slough in the Everett area. The assailant was then shot and killed by the responding trooper. Pierce stated that the contractor has been providing assistance and held a safety stand-down to review protocols and support employees after the incident as well. This is Newsradio KONP.
End-of-life decisions are hard. Be it pre-planning or sudden loss, you need to have an advocate in your corner, which is why I wholeheartedly recommend Drennan & Ford Funeral Home and Crematory in Port Angeles, the only locally owned funeral home and crematory in Clallam County. Their expertise ensures a smooth process so you can focus on healing and being with your loved ones. Their help through the darkest time in my life will forever stay with me. Call 360-457-1210.
Pick a day in May and head our way. This is Dale from Wilder Auto, and I would like to invite you to stop by and check out our new selection of Wilder certified used. Trade-ins make the best used cars, and we've got a great, fresh selection of cars, trucks, SUVs, and vans to choose from. Plus, every vehicle we sell includes the Wilder Advantage, which means lower cost of ownership and peace of mind. So come check us out or 24/7 at wilderauto.com.
Your community-minded friends at First Fed bring you the Community Corner, highlighting good things happening right here in our area.
The 22nd Annual Community Prayer Breakfast is Thursday, May 30th at Queen of Angels Catholic Church from 8 a.m. to 9:30 a.m. Join the Port Angeles Noon Kiwanis in the St. Anne Room for an inspiring and delicious community prayer breakfast with guest speaker Salvation Army Captain Crystal Burks. Musical guest Anna Nichols will perform as well. Special thanks to the Knights of Columbus for catering the community prayer breakfast. According to organizers, this annual breakfast is an opportunity for everyone of all faiths and denominations to come together in fellowship. Your Port Angeles Noon Kiwanis invites you to the annual community prayer breakfast Thursday, May 30th at Queen of Angels, 209 West 11th Street in Port Angeles. Tickets are $15, payable by cash or check at the door.
Community Corner, presented by First Fed.
Hi, this is Drew from Anime Cat in downtown Port Angeles. The weather is warming up and it's time to venture out of our homes, and Anime Cat can help supply your gaming adventures. Pick up new cards for games like Pokemon and Magic the Gathering, or play in one of our events. Pick up dice, books, and miniatures for your Dungeons & Dragons game, or find a new group to play with at Anime Cat. We're open every day downtown, a half block west of the downtown Port Angeles Fountain. Visit Anime Cat for your gaming adventure supplies.
The Next Door Gastropub has been a staple in downtown Port Angeles for over 12 years. Jacob Oppelt, owner of the pub, tells us why he loves owning and operating a business in small-town Port Angeles.
Yeah, it's all about the community, Steph. We've thrived by providing our locals with an atmosphere based around top-quality cuisine and service. At the Next Door Gastropub, you not only enjoy great food, but you feel welcomed by our family here. We appreciate you and will continue to support the community that's done so much to support us.
The Next Door Gastropub in downtown Port Angeles.
Weather forecast calling for rain at times the rest of the day today. Maybe some patchy fog this afternoon, too. Highs mid to upper 50s. Cloudy tonight, some showers this evening, and look for lows to be in the upper 30s to mid 40s. Tomorrow, partly sunny, slight chance of showers in the morning. Highs will be about 60 tomorrow. Tomorrow night, clear with lows in the low to mid 40s. And then Thursday is looking mostly sunny with your highs into the mid 60s. Clouding up a bit Thursday night with lows in the mid to upper 40s. Then cloudy with some showers for Friday. Highs will be in the upper 50s. So, how does the Memorial Day weekend look? Well, like this. Saturday, partly sunny, a slight chance of showers, highs near 60. Cloudy with a slight chance of showers Sunday and a high in the upper 50s. And Memorial Day Monday is going to be partly sunny with a slight chance of showers and highs in the low to mid 60s. So, a typical Memorial Day weekend around here. Right now, clouds and scattered rain showers across the peninsula. It's 50 in Port Townsend, 53 out west at Forks, 52 in Sequim, 51 in downtown Port Angeles, and out at Fairchild Airport, it's 52.
Sometimes the more things change, the more things stay the same. Cars and trucks certainly have changed, but it's really good to know that A1 Auto Parts in Sequim has the same great service and expert advice as always. Whether it's advanced technology of the newest model or a classic with hard-to-find parts, the A1 team is your go-to for expert advice and tracking the right equipment. A1 Auto Parts and Marine across from Sunshine Cafe in downtown Sequim.
Attention all moms-to-be. North Olympic Healthcare Network's board-certified physicians specializing in family medicine with obstetrics are here to guide and support you on your pregnancy journey. We provide personalized, compassionate care focused on building a long-lasting relationship before, during, and after pregnancy. From pre-pregnancy planning to childbirth to primary care for your whole family, we're with you for the journey. To learn more, visit nohn-pa.org/obstetrics.
Here's a look at what's happening. The Clothes Closet, located at First United Methodist Church in Port Angeles, is accepting donations of new or gently used adult clothing, bedding, towels, and shoes. The closet, located at 7th and Laurel, and is open for donations between 9 a.m. and 1 p.m. Mondays and Tuesdays, and 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. on Wednesdays. The Fifth Avenue in Sequim looking for vendors to take part in their Christmas in July craft fair. It'll be Saturday, July 13th. Price is $25 per table. Applications can be picked up at the Fifth Avenue, or you can email Donna I at thefiftheavenue.com. That's Donna I at thefiftheavenue.com. Clallam Conservation District is having the last in 3 upcoming horse and livestock workshops on Wednesday from 10 a.m. to 11:30 a.m. This to focus on IDing and controlling poisonous and noxious weeds commonly found on farms. If you'd like to partake in that live or to get a taped version of it, you need to register, and you can do that through the Clallam Conservation District's website at clallamcd.org. Gardening with Young Children, the latest in the Green Thumb Education Series from the Clallam County Master Gardeners. It's coming up this Thursday from noon to 1 p.m. That'll be at St. Andrew's Episcopal Church in Port Angeles. That is free and open to the public. A free beginning I Know Nothing About Genealogy class is being offered this Saturday from the Clallam County Genealogical Society. Class begins at 1:30 p.m. Saturday. It will be at the Society's Research Center, 403 East 8th Street in Port Angeles. For more information, you can phone the Society 360-417. Another in Clallam County's wildfire preparedness presentations, this one in Sequim. It is coming up on Saturday from 1 until 3 p.m. It'll be at the Guy Cole Convention Center. And that's a look at what's happening.
It's Victoria Jones with the North Olympic Discovery Marathon. Time to get ready. Lace them up for the 22nd annual North Olympic Discovery Marathon along the Discovery Trail. It's one of the most scenic courses anywhere. Thousands of runners from across the country and around the world will run the course. Marathon weekend is June 1st and 2nd, with the 5K, 10K, and Kids Marathon Saturday at the Port Angeles City Pier. Sunday, June 2nd, features the half marathon, and marathon relay. Volunteers play a vital role marathon weekend. You, your friends, and your organization can get involved. All volunteers receive a t-shirt, a terrific meal, and 1,000 thank yous. To sign up, go to nodm.com and click volunteers.
Race day is fast approaching. Sign up now to take part in the North Olympic Discovery Marathon. Details at nodm.com. Presented by First Federal and partnered in part by KONP, Straight Country 102, and Z104.9.
10 minutes in front of 1 o'clock now.
Newsradio KONP Business.
This is a Bloomberg Money Minute. Just minutes ago ahead of Wall Street's closing bell, and right now stocks are on pace to end the day with very modest gains, but maybe just enough for the NASDAQ and the S&P 500 to close at fresh all-time highs. Right now, all the major averages up about 0.5%. Shares of Macy's up more than 3% today. That's after an earnings beat, thanks to a turnaround strategy, bringing more upscale goods and new promotions to stores. Tesla shares up 6%. That's after it doubled its 72-month loan rate to buyers to just under 2%. A sign demand is strong without having to cut prices or lending rates further. Some trouble in Hollywood, though. Disney-owned Pixar Animation, the maker of films like Toy Story and WALL-E, laying off another 175 workers. Disney says it wants fewer but better movies. And the Biden administration releasing 1 million barrels of gas now being held in reserve in New Jersey and Maine to try to lower prices at the gas pump. Tom Busby, Bloomberg Radio.
Check on the traffic and roads next. Brought to you by Olympic Medical Center and Leeds Farm Supply.
Your Olympic Medical Center is a top 100 rural and community hospital in the U.S. for the 9th year in a row. Our team members' dedication to quality, safety, and care for every patient who walks through our doors is what makes OMC rurally awesome. Congratulations to the OMC team for once again being a top 100 rural hospital. You should be proud. Learn more at olympicmedical.org/top100.
Bad Boy tractors are born from the legendary Bad Boy mowers. From 20 to 35 horsepower, subcompact to midsize, Bad Boy combines power, performance, comfort, and as always, build strength to deliver the workhorse dependability you need to get the job done and done right. Homeowner, landscaper, or rancher, there's a Bad Boy tractor for you to work with an attitude.
Leeds Farm Supply and Equipment Sales is your Bad Boy tractor dealer in Sequim. Call 360-452-1400 to learn more.
Newsradio KONP, traffic and roads.
Up to Clallam Transit Dispatch Center we go. That is where Steve's standing by one last time with the check of the noontime roads for us. Good afternoon, Steve.
Hi there. Hey, good afternoon, everybody. Yeah, a little bit busy out there if you're out and about through the Port Angeles Sequim area right now. Just kind of steady traffic making its way through town. A little slow going on the east end of Port Angeles and into the downtown area. Other than that, for the most part, we're doing okay out there. If you're on the highway between the two cities, really no problems. Traffic is moving along at the speed limit. It's definitely busy out there. But like I say, nice and smooth as far as traffic flow. If you're beyond that, Hood Canal Bridge, good to go with no scheduled marine openings. State ferries currently, for the most part, are running on time today. West End traffic, a little bit of construction going on your way out. Just be careful through those construction areas. But overall, just light traffic and at the speed limit. A lot of rain showers out there, so be prepared for some wet roads. So everybody take care, be safe. This is Steve reporting live from Clallam Transit for KONP.
Thanks, Steve. Coming up next hour on the Todd Ortloff Show, first half of the program, we're going to be talking with Port Angeles School Superintendent Marty Brewer about things as the year wraps up. Looking back, of course, been a lot of news being made with the school district. We'll talk about all of that and budget and all of that. That'll be in the first part of the program. Then we're going to be talking with a couple of the performers coming this weekend for the Juan de Fuca Festival of the Arts. So you'll want to join us for the second half for that next hour here on KONP. Oh, cockroaches, those six-legged, hairy, sometimes winged home invaders won't die no matter how hard you try. But ABC's Daria Albinger tells us we actually help them learn how to survive.
Researchers at Baylor College of Medicine studied the genetics of cockroaches from their humble beginnings in Asia, and they found they scuttled across the globe by hitching a ride with another species, humans. They traveled west through the Middle East about 1,200 years ago in soldiers' bread baskets and later stowed away on Dutch and British East India Company trade routes. Once cockroaches got to Europe and North America, they got comfy with inventions like indoor plumbing, where they've quickly evolved to resist most pesticides. Daria Albinger, ABC News.
Wendy's now offering a $3 English muffin meal after McDonald's introduced their own meal deal. It comes amid high food prices and fast food companies' response to that. Elizabeth Pancati, Director of Special Initiatives at the Roosevelt Institute, saying these types of fast food deals are not new, but the competition is a good one for both consumers and the economy.
A lot of these fast food companies are moving to only offering the special prices to customers that use their apps. And so kind of this gamification of you log onto an app and you get extra points and rewards, and it's sort of fun to spend money at these restaurants. And so
we've become used to paying for items at the register by simply tapping our phones or credit cards at the checkout. But credit card fraud is rampant. Are you ready for the next step in identification? I'm Kim Commando for T-Mobile. Their advanced network now goes farther than ever before. Visit T-Mobile.com/55. Biometric payment schemes have been tried and rejected. No one wants to provide a fingerprint at the checkout. So with MasterCard, JP Morgan Chase, and other credit card companies on board, the next level in fighting fraud is your face. It's the ultimate form of biometric identification. The banks believe that facial recognition is invasive. We carry our faces around with us out in the open everywhere we go. So raising a privacy issue about this will be difficult. The ones most open to facial recognition are younger, Gen Zers. Millennials will come along. Boomers will be slower. Of course, with inflation as rampant as it is, facial ID or not, at the checkout, it feels like giving blood. Enter to win a brand new iPhone at winfromkim.com. Hey friends, Kim here. You know, it seems the older you get, the savvier you become at saving money. I really hate to overspend on things, especially the necessities. But thanks to T-Mobile, I don't have to worry about overpaying for wireless service, so I've got more time and money to spend on other things. At T-Mobile, customers 55 and up can get 2 lines of talk, text, and data for just $30 a month per line. That's a 45% savings versus Verizon and AT&T. Plus, Scam Shield Premium is included, which means fewer scam calls and more tools to help you optimize and organize your mobile life. Experience all this and more with T-Mobile, America's largest 5G network. Don't miss out. Get 2 lines of talk, text, and data for $30 a month per line at T-Mobile. Visit T-Mobile.com or your local store to make the switch and save.
With AutoPay using debit or bank account, less taxes and fees. 45% off 2 lines versus AT&T Starter and Verizon Welcome. Plan benefits vary. See details. Capable device required for Scam Shield. Turning on Scam Block might block calls you want. Disable anytime.
Having a pet at home may actually help protect against some types of food allergies. We'll talk more after this.
Memorial Day is nearly here. Time to fire up for grilling season. Head to omahasteaks.com for the Memorial Day sale with 50% off site-wide. That's 50% off grilling favorites like tender steaks, beefy burgers, and much more. Plus, use promo code QUALITY at checkout to save an extra $30. Their unconditional money-back guarantee backs every purchase. At omahasteaks.com, use code QUALITY at checkout for an extra $30 off. Minimum order may be required.
Omaha Steaks, America's original butcher.
Offer not valid in all states or where prohibited by law. Loans are subject to lender approval. See website for details.
Honey, the credit card bill came, and we're maxed out.
Maxed out cards, rent is due. We just need some extra cash to help us get by.
Maybe we should go to 27cash.com.
With our bad credit?
27cash.com is one of the largest personal loan networks. They can help people with any type of credit get up to $5,000, and cash can hit our bank account as soon as tomorrow.
When you need extra cash, go to 27cash.com. That's 27cash.com. 27cash.com.
It turns out that children may benefit from pets in more ways than previously thought. A recent study found that kids that grow up with a dog may actually have a lower risk of egg, milk, and nut allergies. Those with a cat had a lower risk of egg, wheat, and soybean allergies. When they looked at hamsters, they actually found a higher risk of some type of food allergies. We don't fully understand why people develop food allergies at different ages, but we believe that there is both a genetic and an environmental component. Since we can't control our genes, environment and behavior are getting a lot of attention now. And since cats and dogs have other benefits as well, perhaps it's time to visit your local animal shelter. With Your Body, I'm ABC's Dr. Jennifer Ashton.
I am a radio commercial. You can't see me, but that doesn't mean we can't have a one-on-one conversation. I can be intimate. I can be bold. I can be used to tell you about a one-day-only sale! Or about why my family trusts a particular person or product. You and I can chat daily or sometimes just on the weekend, but we never stop communicating. I may make you laugh, I can make you ponder, and sometimes I can bring just a hint of a tear to your eye. You'll find me lots of places, your car, your home, inside a store, on the beach. Where you won't find me is in a landfill, wrapped around fish, or at the bottom of a birdcage. I'm a radio commercial, and I could be yours.
To open a dialogue between you and your customers, call us today, 360-457-1450. Local radio, local listeners, professional marketing. Newsradio KONP, Port Angeles, Sequim.
The North Peninsula's news. The North Peninsula's talk. Newsradio KONP, Port Angeles, Sequim. A Radio Pacific station.
From ABC News, I'm Chuck Severson. This update on an effort that some criticize as not able to help enough to relieve suffering of people in Gaza. It's the temporary shoreline pier built by the U.S. military to serve as one way to get food, water, and medical supplies in. That pier has been operating only a few days, says Pentagon spokesman Brigadier General Pat Ryder.
To date, over 569 metric tons of humanitarian assistance has been delivered across the temporary pier, or JLOTS, to Gaza for further distribution by humanitarian partners, with more aid on the way.
Situation in Gaza getting worse, according to officials with the UN's World Food Program. It suspended food distribution in Rafah due to lack of supplies and security that's not great. Rare unity on Capitol Hill, the Secretary of State and others at the Senate Foreign Relations Committee criticizing the International Criminal Court's action to seek arrest warrants for top Israeli officials. ABC's Jay O'Brien at the Capitol.
The top Democrat on that committee, the top Republican on that committee, and Antony Blinken all together said in various ways they reject that arrest warrant and the accusations made by the ICC. They said it was a false equivalency, among other things, to compare Israel to the leader of Hamas.
Testimony concluded in former President Donald Trump's hush money criminal trial in New York. With his take on testimony of the prosecution's star witness, the former Trump lawyer and fixer, ABC News chief legal analyst Dan Abrams.
Michael Cohen didn't just admit that he stole money from the Trump Organization. Michael Cohen admitted that he stole money from the Trump Organization in connection with the very payment at issue in this case, part of the big payment that included the payment to Stormy Daniels.
Closing arguments expected next Tuesday. Mourners began gathering today for days of funerals and processions for Iran's late president, foreign minister, and others killed in a helicopter crash over the weekend. You're listening to ABC News.
Oh, honey,
Honey, it's our favorite leaf filter trusted pro, Matt. Matt, come in, come in.
Hi, Mrs. Sparks. You wanted me to stop by? Is everything okay with your leaf filter gutter protection system?
Okay. Of course, silly. We wanted you to stop by for dinner as our way of thanking you.
Yes, to thank you for that free gutter inspection, the free estimate, and what was the other thing?
That lifetime guarantee.
Well, Mr. and Mrs. Sparks, those are just Leaf Filter's policies. Everyone who calls Leaf Filter gets a trusted pro to come out for a free gutter inspection and estimate. And every Leaf Filter installation comes with a lifetime guarantee.
So it's not just us?
No, sir. We don't want anyone to worry about clogged gutters ever again.
You mean everyone gets this level of service?
Everyone. They just need to visit leaffilter.com/ABC to schedule their free inspection.
Okay, but you must be starving. You work so hard.
Ready to love your gutter protection as much as we do? Visit leaffilter.com/ABC and get up to 30% off today.
See representative for warranty details. Promotion is 20% off plus a 10% senior or military discount. One discount per household.
Still active, this.
The investigation into how Matthew Perry got ketamine outside of a therapeutic environment never closed, and the LAPD confirms it is open and ongoing. Sources tell ABC News detectives have been interviewing people who could have information on the source of the drugs, but no arrests have been made. The LAPD is working with the DEA to continue trying to find the source of the ketamine. Alex Stone, ABC News, Los Angeles.
The European Union passing a landmark law to regulate artificial intelligence, the first major legislation of its kind in the world.
EU countries reaching final approval for the so-called AI Act, the world's first major law on artificial intelligence. The law aims to tackle things like misinformation, fake news, and copyrighted material amid the growing popularity of new systems like OpenAI's ChatGPT. The U.S. has taken a lighter voluntary compliance approach to AI. The new EU law will go into effect next month.
ABC's Inez de la Cuetara. The FDA has given Elon Musk's Neuralink the green light to implant its brain chip into a second patient. This, according to the Wall Street Journal, reporting it could be as early as next month. The agency was apparently satisfied with proposals to fix problems experienced by the first patient. The device gave a 30-year-old the ability to control a computer using his thoughts. Chuck Sievertson, ABC News.
Pizza's here. Oh, great. I'd love some, but I'm worried about my stomach issues.
If you're worried about having diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or loose, oily stools, it may not just be stomach issues. It could be a condition called exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI. With EPI, the pancreas doesn't release enough enzymes to break down food, but EPI is manageable. Use the symptom checker on identifyepi.com and talk to your doctor. That's identifyepi.com. Sponsored by AbbVie.
Enjoy all the colors of the season with help from Airport Garden Center. It's a great time to refresh your garden beds and build those hanging baskets. It's true, quality plants start with quality soil, and right now at Airport Garden Center, buy 3 bags of soil and get the 4th bag free. Choose from G&B Organic Standard Planting Mix or Harvest Supreme and boost your bloom. Standard Planting Mix is great for in-ground planting projects, including planting, amending, mulching, or seed cover, while G&B Harvest Supreme improves a variety of soils for vegetable gardens or flower beds. Choose quality soil from Airport Garden Center and save with a buy 3 get 1 free sale on now. Come in and save on bags of G&B organic soil, plus our garden experts can help jumpstart your garden bloom with free advice. Airport Garden Center, planting knowledge, growing gardeners since 1977.
KONP News brought to you by Remax Evergreen Real Estate. Outstanding agents, outstanding results. 457-6600. Olympic National Park initiating a new program to combat aquatic invasive species at Lake Crescent and Lake Ozette. Part of it features free boat cleaning stations set up there. In the last few years, New Zealand mud snails and Asian clams have been detected in the lakes. They believe they were introduced through boats that were brought in. They're asking all watercraft, including boats, kayaks, rafts, paddleboards, and other flotation devices, to be rinsed down before and after using the lakes.
Here's your News Radio KONP forecast. Isolated rain showers likely, with fog in spots early this afternoon. Otherwise, cloudy skies expected. Daytime highs approaching 55. North winds 5 to 10 miles per hour. Mainly cloudy skies expected tonight. Chance for showers. Lows level off around 44. Slight chance for showers tomorrow, 59. I'm weatherology meteorologist Paul Trombley. Right now, it's 54 degrees.
It's the Todd Ortloff Show on Newsradio KONP. Now, here's Todd.
All right, welcome once again to the program. Going to spend the first half of the show today talking with Port Angeles School Superintendent Marty Brewer. Marty, it's good to have you back. Good to see you again.
Thank you very much.
We get him in usually about this time of year most years to talk a bit about what's the end of the school year is looking like and maybe a bit of a reflection on what has happened. Certainly has been very busy with a lot of things happening with the PA School District since we last chatted with Marty. And we'll also talk a little bit looking forward as to what budgets might be like, because this is all kind of the end of the year becomes a very busy time for administrators.
Very much so.
Including Marty, and maybe kind of some things about crystal balling what perhaps legislatively might be out there. So first of all, I think let's go back and let's talk a bit about, certainly the paraeducator strike and all of that made a lot of headlines, and that was resolved at some point. I just give you a chance to maybe speak from the administrative side of things as to how that all finally came together. And, a lot of people say, well, how does the district afford to do that moving forward? That was one of the big, I think, hurdles in all of this was that, okay, we can accommodate a pay raise, but how do we sustain that?
Yeah.
Once you set the bar, so to speak.
Yeah, the real issue is, with state allocation of resources after McCleary in 2018. The state has a formula or a financing model that funds districts, for staffing, and it's not a COLA, but it's like a COLA for IPD. This is what they call it, an inflation index indicator that is meant to offset, inflationary challenges that we all are facing, from a workforce. And the real challenge and the crux of the problem is the IPD is not fully funded at the state level. So the state legislature will come in and say, we have a 3.7%, IPD that we're going to apply to the funding formula. And then, at the local level, you have to try to work out how do you make up 3.7% when it's not fully funded. And so that was the real crux of the problem. It was never about that the board or this superintendent didn't want to or don't want to pay our workforce. We are very proud of our workforce. We are a proud system. We do things very well in Port Angeles, but it is a challenge when particularly with the paras, and you referenced the paras, we're funded for approximately 5 or 6 district-wide, and we have 134. And so, the 3.7% gets applied to that 5 or 6, and then you have to find the dollars elsewhere for the other 130. And so, and that speaks to the challenges around beyond IPD at the state level, but the prototypical model and who's in the prototypical model, and adjustments to the prototypical model just simply have to be looked at and made moving forward. There is no way that a school district the size of Port Angeles can fund or run on 5 or 6 paras.
That number has me aghast. I think a lot of people hear that. So really, in the state's view of things, Port Angeles has money for 6 paras, district wide.
Yes.
That makes no sense.
It doesn't. Now, the argument on the other side, from the legislator point of view, they will say, well, you've got categorical funds. You got your title funds, you got your LAP funds, you got, special ed funds, which is true. But the big but there is those funds are not multiplied on the IPD. So if that's truly the argument, then my argument back would be, if you truly intend, to continue to fund, staff enhancements in salary through this IPD model, then you should consider, increasing your title. Title is a poor example. That's federal funds, so our state legislators can't control that. But with your LAP, your high poverty LAP, and your state SPED, you absolutely could multiply that on a 3.7 or whatever IPD ends up being for the year. Then it makes it easier for school districts, and not just our school district. Every school district is dealing with this. In dealing with this issue, there just has to be a better way of allocating those resources and making it so that school districts are not looking to find a majority of the salary enhancements at the local level.
To me, and this is just my observation in this, the McCleary decision begins to look more and more like it was a bit of a shell game in how it shuffled things around. I guess, and we've had this conversation, I think, in the past, especially for a rural district or a district like Port Angeles, a little bit to some extent as well, but places that are not in the I-5 corridor, that are not property rich, basically.
Yeah.
And is this an illustration, I guess, kind of a what happens when you look at the way the funding model is now?
It can be, but not necessarily. That's a whole nother issue. Yeah. Even your big districts with lots of quote unquote resources based on tax base are still struggling with this very concept. The IPD is intended to be an adjustment to our workforce, and when it's not fully funded, you have to find those dollars locally. The property rich, property poor is a little bit different. We know that there are districts, particularly along the I-5 corridor, that have additional 18% multipliers on their state apportionment, meaning they get 18% more money than Port Angeles. I've always taken exception to that, and I will continue to take exception with that. The educators in Port Angeles deserve to be compensated as much as any, state employee across the state of Washington. I'm going to continue to fight for that. But when you look at that, if we were at, let's take an example of Mercer Island School District. I'll just pick one. They get state apportionment, for which we get, and then they get an 18% multiplier on that state apportionment. But then you look at their tax base, and I don't know what it is, but it's obviously rich, and they can run EP&O, or educational programs and operations taxes, which run your athletics program and your music programs, etc. That tax base is very rich, and so they can throw out a lesser rate per thousand and generate more money, obviously, than Port Angeles. So it's like a double whammy, in my opinion, because you got more state resources and you have more local tax base to tax upon. And so I've said this before, and I know that I'm going to ruffle some feathers with this, but it's a system where the rich get richer and the poor get poorer. And I hate to say that, but I'm at the stage of my career where I'm going to start being very vocal with regards to what's working and what's not working. I have been vocal with our local legislators, like, we have to get out ahead of this and fix it before it becomes like, it turns to the point where you can't fix it anymore.
You can't come back from that.
And so there's only so much that we can do locally, and that's what we really ran up against this year. Was when the strike happened, and I apologize for the strike happening. Nobody wants to see a strike. We want our kids in school, but we're trying to be fiscally responsible with what little dollars we have. And I don't want to say little dollars. We have a lot of money, but it's the model's not working. And if it were just Port Angeles, there's an argument to be said there. But if you read papers across the state of Washington, like, you have Vancouver Public Schools, you have Battleground Public Schools, you have Washougal Public Schools, you have, locally Sequim, you have Seattle Public Schools, Everett Public Schools, North Shore Public Schools. I can go on. Moses Lake Public Schools, like, all of these districts are dealing with. And so, the common sense would say, okay, it's not just enrollment, and it's not just, if you wanted to go down the path of mismanagement, it's not that. All of these systems have, are very different. And have, good leaders, doing the work. There's something to be said around the formula's not working. And our legislators have to develop an appetite to address that before we reach a point of no return. Now, that point of no return has already occurred with 5 school districts across the state of Washington. There are 5 districts in binding conditions, meaning they can't pay their bills. OSPI anticipates that number to double in the next year. And then from there, double again. So, we're on a really difficult path here, and it's not just enrollment, and it's not just mismanagement at the local level. The funding mechanism that we created with good intentions, and I will give the legislators, a pat on the back when they were tasked to create the McCleary funding model. It was a huge task. We're talking billions of dollars, and when you create those formulas, there are always unintended consequences. We're dealing with those unintended consequences, and there needs to be an appetite to readdress that issue. And if we don't, there's a lot of school districts that will, fall into binding conditions, which isn't good for anybody.
How close is Port Angeles to that? Can you even guess as to? Are you into that next to the doubling of this, or where might you be at this point? If all stays as is, I suppose.
So we work really hard in our district to manage the budget. It's a daily interaction that we have. Our payroll is approximately round number $4 million a month, and we try to make sure that we have in reserves $4 million at the end of the year, so that we have 1 month's bills, so to speak. And so, we are, I call it, we're on the line. We live day to day. But, I know this board, I know this superintendent, I know the finance department and the Port Angeles School District are going to keep, taking the actions necessary, albeit very hard when you have to riff and you have to, lose positions through attrition, but we will continue to do that to make sure that, our district doesn't fall into binding conditions. So we're going to work really hard at that. And to answer your question directly, my hope, at least as long as I'm here, is we're not going to fall into binding conditions. So
not a good situation if you're in that. I know that adds to what the stipulations that then come to you if you're in that binding situation, which then leads me to this next budget, because you're in the middle of this thing now. I know that the school board's had a couple work sessions now and trying to move through it. Characterize for you kind of where it's at. I think it's probably better RIF situation, it sounds like, this year than it was perhaps last year, but that doesn't necessarily mean it's all rainbows and sunshine, right?
Yeah, we're really working to balance a budget. We see at the last board meeting, the board took action and established really enrollment drives your finances. And so our board established our enrollment at 3,305 students, which this year our average is 327 or 3,327. So we want to be really conservative in our budget planning, because we have seen a small erosion of students, year to year. Not a ending, during COVID, we saw an incredible reduction in enrollment. Some of that did come back, after the year after, the initial hit. But, we're trying to be really conservative with our budget planning, so that, when we establish a budget and enrollment comes in, then you can add back. You can't take away because all of our contracts are guaranteed for a year. So once we, sign a deal with a teacher, an administrator, or a paraeducator, the intention is they have a contract for a year, and we honor that. And so we have to get it right. And so we're starting in a very conservative mindset around 3,305, in hopes that our enrollment does come in, and then we can add back some capacity within our system. With that being said, when you establish a number at 3,305, which is approximately 20 students less than what we currently have, each one of those students, I just use a round number, represents about 10,000 students. So it does add up to necessary reductions. We're approximately 40 students down from budget last year, so you can start adding the numbers up. We are looking to have a targeted reduction of about $1.35 million this year, from this year to next. Okay. And we'll do that not by way of RIFs, but we will be doing that through attrition and looking at positions that become available, assessing that position to determine, do we need it or not, and balance the budget that way, which is much easier than riffing. When you riff somebody, they lose their job. And now through resignations and retirements, we're able to balance the budget based on that. It does have an impact, in the schools. Either class sizes will raise a little bit, or, programs could be reduced.
But it sounds to me that the window, though, is much smaller for this than you did. I mean, because we've had this conversation a year ago, and it was like, yeah, we're going to we can't just do it with retirements and attrition.
Yeah. Last year the number was so large, $5 million. We had to, execute the RIFs. This year, with resignations and retirements, we can balance the budget.
How much? How do you speculate on enrollment too? Because this is something that's happening across the board, not just Port Angeles as well. Is it just the changing demographics of things, or how do you see that? And how do you address it in a place like Port Angeles? A lot of this, I think, is driven by, what the economy looks like. For example, in a place like this, do you have jobs here they're attractive to having families?
Yeah, we do a fairly good job of assessing where our students are going, and many. I don't have exact numbers today, but we have a large number of students and families moving off the Olympic Peninsula for job-related work. But when COVID hit and the schools were closed, there was an erosion of public school at that point in time where families were frustrated, and rightfully so. From March 16th to March 17th, schools are closed, and so families had to scramble and look for, does this remote option work for me? Or at least initially it was like all remote, and then the next year, remember that, it was like a hybrid model, and it was a mess, and we did the best we could to address the learning needs based on the state direction. So some families were frustrated with all of that and looked for other options. They looked for homeschooling options, they looked for private school options, they looked for other ALE programs elsewhere that might work for them. And so that started that erosion of students, and so we're doing the best we can with the current enrollment.
Seaview Academy kind of came out of some of this as well.
Yes.
Have you been able to see any sort of a recapture, maybe, of some of that enrollment for people who are, choosing to do an online option now permanently, for example?
Yeah, sometimes it's better to be lucky than good, right?
Yeah.
We, in the fall of 2020, we were looking at and this was pre-COVID, obviously, we were looking at our numbers. I'm sorry, that would have been the fall of 2019.
Yeah, right.
Thank you. Fall of 2019, we were looking at our enrollment and assessing, how many students were going elsewhere for ALE programs, alternative learning environment education, and we had I'm picking a number. It was like somewhere in the range of 130 students going elsewhere for ALE programs. And so at that point in time, we said, we're going to build our own program and try to keep our students here that want to experience online learning as their primary delivery point. And so we did what a district, can take a couple of years to do in months. We created Seaview Academy in about 3 months. Now, we had a lot of help. We had some state leaders that came in and helped us, but we were able to launch our Seaview Academy in January of 2020, and that's where it pays to be lucky rather than good, right?
Because you already had some folks that were doing the online.
Without Seaview Academy, our district would have had a very different experience through this, because during COVID, our Seaview Academy grew to greater than 1,000 FTE. And so now, a couple of years, thereafter, we have become a state provider, which means we're a multi-district provider, and we can offer educational service to a student, any student across the state of Washington. And we do have, students across the state experiencing and working with Port Angeles educators to meet their educational needs. But the nice thing about that is, recently, our ALE program has done a really good job. It's a very competitive world. And so there's some really big ALE providers across the state that have quite a reputation. And so we're the small dog on the block right now. But we're creating a little niche for Port Angeles. We're the big service providers won't share an FTE, meaning if a student wants to retain some of their time in a brick and mortar school and then do some ALE work, these larger providers won't do that. We will. We'll work with the local school district and we'll share the FTE. And we're finding a little bit of a niche across the state of Washington in working with particularly juniors and seniors and recovering credits to help them graduate. And so within the last several months, we've increased our FTE significantly of out-of-district enrollees, given that track that we're trying to get them to the finish line or help them, assist them get to the finish line. Our out-of-district enrollment at Seaview is right around 100 FTE, which is great. Okay. And so that's our vision for the future is, really become, a competitive and viable option in the ALE world, because families, as I was speaking earlier around families going to homeschool, private school, and ALE, families are looking for choices. And we feel like we're creating a very viable choice, not only for Port Angeles residents, but for students across the state of Washington with Seaview Academy.
All right, before we get you out of here, let's go with you mentioned graduation and things like that, getting to the end of the year. So let's talk about how the end of the year wraps up. And some of this gets a bit more fluid because of the strike, because of the 5 days that were kind of taken out. So some of this has to be made up. So that said, get us up to speed on when graduation really is going to happen, how that's going to happen, last day of school, all of that.
So I'm going to start with the end. So like our last day is scheduled. There'll be a half day on June 24th.
Okay.
So we were scheduled to be out on June 14th, so we'll go all of the week thereafter, June 14th, which is a Friday. We won't go to school on June 19th, which is a state holiday, and so that bumps us to the last day being June 24th. The high school graduation is scheduled for June 14th. That hasn't changed. It will be at Civic Field. We have... I want to give props to the senior parents. They have the parade scheduled, and I appreciate the senior parents working with us through. We were dealing with a little bit of an issue around the parade time and school being in session, and so the senior parents were very supportive and changed the parade time to a 3 o'clock start time, which really helped.
So it bumped
us.
it by about an hour, I think, right?
Yeah. So we get most of our students out of school, and staff can be out of school. The only exception is Seaview, and we're working on that. Lincoln High graduation is scheduled for June 10th at 6 p.m. That's at the college. Seaview graduation is set for June 7th at 6 p.m. We have all sorts of music events here at the end of the year. A scholarship night is tomorrow night. May 22nd at Port Angeles High School Auditorium, where, many donors, PAEF and many other donors come to, provide incredible resources to all of our seniors as they transition to trade school or a 4-year, 2-year or 4-year institution. So a lot going on. Really time to celebrate the good work of our system. We've dealt with some challenges this year, but now it's time to really celebrate the good work and the fruits of our labor.
All right. Because you got a couple of athletic teams that have done all right, too. They've been kind of fun to watch. We've still got one that's alive in the state, and that's the fast pitch. Girls are going to be off doing their thing in Selah this weekend on top of that. So there are some good things
we
to
have
talk
to keep
about.
things in perspective, like life comes with its challenges, but there's always a lot of really good things that are happening in this community, particularly with the school district. So we're excited to celebrate all that there is to celebrate.
Marty, it's always great to have you come in. I appreciate it. You're always candid with us and tell us kind of how you see things. And I kind of get an inkling that perhaps next year we're going to have some more of these conversations about how to shake things up at the state level, perhaps, on some of this. So, all right. Marty Brewer is the superintendent for Port Angeles Schools. And we're going to take a break, and we'll be back with more in just a moment.
How does Bathfitter Northwest compare to the rest? For many reasons, there's no comparison. Over 40 years in business and 40,000 local remodels. They make and install your new tub or shower in as little as 1 day. And you get a transferable lifetime warranty. But don't just take our word for it. Read their fantastic reviews. When it comes to an amazing bathroom, there's no comparison to Bathfitter Northwest. Get into Bathfitter now for their Spring into Savings Sale. 800 New Bath or bathfitternw.com.
Are you unsure of how to pay for college or career training, but want to take that next step for your future? United Way of Collin County can help you get started. Meet with our Student Financial Aid Liaison to get help with all the pesky paperwork that comes with higher education. From helping with the FAFSA or WASFA, finding programs that are the right fit, and even identifying scholarships. To get started, contact Kennedy at United Way today by calling 360-457-3011.
Your Olympic Medical Center is a top 100 rural and community hospital in the U.S. for the 9th year in a row. Our team members' dedication to quality, safety, and care for every patient who walks through our doors is what makes OMC rurally awesome. Congratulations to the OMC team for once again being a top 100 rural hospital. You should be proud. Learn more at olympicmedical.org/top100.
At Olympic Peninsula Title, old-fashioned customer service never goes out of style. We've been closing real estate transactions in Clallam County for 40 years and have earned the repeat business of our customers. We treat people with respect, do what we say, put the security of our customers' funds and information as priority number one, and always provide service with a smile. When it's time to choose a title company to close your transaction, opt for Olympic Peninsula Title. See why we've been voted best title company in Clallam County over and over again.
Jim's Pharmacy presents Healthy Leg Day. Coming up on June 10th, you'll see 20% off all Juzo compression stockings and socks. A Juzo representative will be on site for fittings and to answer any of your product questions. Find out more and get in on the fantastic savings at Jim's Pharmacy on June 10th. Please call our home health department today to make your appointment. 360-457-3462. Jim's Pharmacy, your partner in home health since 1983, behind the Port Angeles Post Office.
National Karastan Month is underway now at McCrory Carpet One, offering the biggest savings of the year on Karastan flooring, with prices starting at just $2.99 a square foot for carpet and $4.99 a square foot for LVP. If you desire timeless flooring for your home or business, Karastan flooring is flawless, long-lasting, and made for a life lived beautifully. Right now, get 12 months of 0% financing OAC. When it comes to the perfect flooring, there's no better combo than Karastan and my friends at McCrory Carpet One.
I understand that as our world becomes more automated, receiving personalized service from a real person is more meaningful than ever. I'm Dan Shappy, and as a farmer's agent, I know a thing or two about how to help you select the insurance you want so you can
protect what matters most.
Call 360-681-0696 to learn more and chat with me, a real person and experienced farmer's agent, today.
We are farmers. Bum, ba-dum, bum, 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 bum.
Underwritten by Farmers Truck Fire Insurance Exchanges and Affiliates. Products not available in every state.
Red Carpet Car Wash in Carlsberg is always adding to the list of things they provide to keep your vehicle looking brand new. The full detail shop is just one more service to check off that list. Not only will your interior and exterior shine, your engine will sparkle too. Red Carpet is also getting some winter upgrades, including new equipment in the manual bay and new vacuums. Call Kyle today and let him get you scheduled for your red carpet treatment Tuesday through Saturday. 360-461-0826.
For the Washington State News Network, I'm Rob Francis. An anti-Israel protest encampment that stood for nearly 3 weeks at the University of Washington is no more. Protesters removed the camp yesterday before their 3 p.m. deadline as part of an agreement with the school. UW has agreed to waive tuition for at least 20 displaced Palestinian students from Gaza in exchange for the protesters vacating the area. However, it's not completely empty. A street preacher has moved into the space and said he will not leave until the university apologizes to Jewish students. A 42-year-old East Wenatchee man accused of child rape and molestation of a family member is in jail after being convicted of child rape. A Douglas County jury convicted Michael Bergeron Friday of first-degree rape, first-degree child molestation, and 2 counts of second-degree child rape. He was accused of molesting the child at his home and in other locations, beginning when the victim was 5 to 6 years old. And Kittitas County Sheriff's Office warning about an internet scam that's seen growth in recent weeks. Detectives say the scam involves someone posting to social media sites about a missing child or relative and asking for assistance by sharing the post in order to spread the word. In reality, there is no missing person, and once the post is well circulated, the scammer then changes the post to include a malicious link containing malware. It's unknown how many people have fallen for the scam. For more on these stories and others, download the WSNN mobile app. You can also visit our website, WashingtonStateNews.net.
Here's your News Radio KONP forecast. Isolated rain showers likely with fog and spots early this afternoon. Otherwise, cloudy skies expected. Daytime highs approaching 55. North winds 5 to 10 miles per hour. Mainly cloudy skies expected tonight. Chance for showers. Lows level off around 44. Slight chance for showers tomorrow, 59. I'm weatherology meteorologist Paul Trombley. Right now, it's 54 degrees.
Welcome back to the program. This weekend, it's here. It's the Juan de Fuca Festival of the Arts, and lots of musical entertainment's going to be happening in Port Angeles. It's centered mostly around the Vern Burton Center. And over the next few days, we're going to be talking with some of the featured artists. One we've talked with many times on this program in the past, and it's great to have back on via the phone, and that's Lee Oscar. Lee is joining us again. He's an internationally acclaimed harmonica virtuoso, a composer in his own right, a producer as well, a lifelong musical explorer, and many people know him from his days with War, playing harmonica there. And Lee, it's great to have you back. Thanks for joining us.
Hey, thank you for having me, man.
So you're going to be with your group of friends, and you're going to be wrapping up the festival, it looks like, on Sunday night on the main stage. So first off, let's talk about what you plan to be bringing to Port Angeles this go around, Lee.
Man, I bring music, and it's every time we play, we're in the zone. So there's no monologue. It's just in the moment. And when people hear the music we play, it's going to take you on a journey. That's all I can tell you there. And then, but prior to the show, I've offered to do some little workshop. So the people that sign up and however they got that organized to participate, I will be offering to teach them to play lowrider. So we're gonna. You
gotta love it.
And then, and then my idea is that if it feels right, with the people there who are learning it, I'll bring them on stage. When we do lowrider at the end of the show. Yeah, trust me, I've done this before. You don't even have to be that good at it, but we'll make you sound good. Yeah.
What an opportunity. Go to jffa.org. I think they've got a link up on there that you can sign up to do this as well. And what a fabulous opportunity. And that's going to happen on the Sunday just before you play. Is that right? I don't have it in front of me. So
yeah,
okay.
Yeah. I think it's scheduled. Let me see here. I think between 2 and 4. From 2 to 4, I'm doing a workshop.
Okay, very good.
At least that's what my note says. And just a side note too, I've been doing a lot of traveling lately, and one of the places I actually Darian Asplund, who's the saxophone player in Lee Oscar and Friends, he went with me, and we went to Argentina and collaborated with some amazing musicians there. We just recorded live instead of a bunch of overdubs with some great players, a lot of my compositions, including a small orchestra. It was 2 violins, a viola, and 1 cello, and a flute and a clarinet. And man, I just got rough mixes the other day. Just to kind of listen back to it. It's really exciting, man. So nice. A lot of good stuff.
Nice.
Yeah.
You're still so actively. You've continued to go on this journey, and you just keep going as well. Did you ever think you'd be doing this so long at this level? I mean, as you mentioned, you're touring around the world still, basically.
Well, I don't think you think of when you get older. When you're young, you don't think about when you're getting older and how to plan for things. My DNA is that I am in my zone, what I love doing, and I will play till the day I die. So that's it. I don't have special plans for retirement and those types of things. I mean,
for you.
It would kill me if I had to vacate, meaning a vacation. I had to vacate from what I love doing. So I'm occupied.
I love it, and I think we love it too. Okay, so tell us a bit about how you got started, because it's amazing. I mean, you're a harmonica virtuoso, but most people don't think of the harmonica as becoming such an instrument as you've made it into. So tell us about your humble beginnings, really, and how you carved this into what you do today.
Well, first of all, I'm always embarrassed when someone calls me a virtuoso.
I know.
I appreciate you thinking that way, but even if that is the case, why wouldn't you be someone who become that good at something if they started at 6 years old and that's all they've done? That's all they. Well, I wouldn't say that's all, but that's a majority of my life, or constantly. Even when I was on the streets, trying to find opportunities to get off the streets to play music. So it was always about that. And so at 6 years old, I got my first harmonica, and basically I never stopped. And if you continue something over and over again, and you with your heart and soul being really in it, there's no telling how good, where you're going to go. I mean, it would be crazy if all this time I played and think today I can't play. I mean, that's a lot of devotion to something that I live and do every day. Same thing with paintings. Nobody would hire me, so I had to hire myself. So there you go.
I love it. Okay, I got to ask this before you go, and I've never asked it. The lowrider riff. How did it come to be?
Right.
Tell us how that famous line, basically, that's what everybody knows from when we say lowrider.
Well, thank you.
Yeah.
Well, with the band Wall, if you listen to any of our music, and it always had magic, it was always jams. I mean, what you hear any of the individual play is what they created. So when you hear the harmonica doing that riff, that's what I created.
Yeah.
And in this particular scenario with Lowrider, Charles Miller, the sax player, bless his soul, he's made the transition a long time now. But that was my dream. Harmonica and saxophone was to be the horn section. And the band, except for Charles and I, the rest of the guys were in the studio, and we decided to go down to the Santa Monica Pier at night and see if we can catch some crab, thinking they're nocturnal. Well, by 6 in the morning, we had no luck, and we drove back to the studio, and the guys were there still, and they just laid down this track, and that's where that inspired, and I just played, things just... sometimes you think about things, but a lot of times I don't even think about it. It's just, whatever comes out, comes out. My strength in the band has always been melodies and hook lines, and like I tell people, if you didn't have the funky stuff that the other guys play behind these melodies, you would get a toothache because they're really catchy lines, but there's more than the icing on the cake to make something real. So the band itself was an incredible chemistry. And when I say that, the band that used to be the band, not the band out there now, but what we did or still do is very organic, in the moment, and incredible chemistry between us. So we all create in real time. Nobody tells anybody else what to do. We'll be fighting each other. We start telling each other what to do.
I always love getting a chance to talk with you, Lee. We'll see you up here this weekend, and safe travels, my friend, and looking forward to lots of people learning how to play that riff we were just talking about. Thank goodness the crabbing was bad, because we may not have had the song anyway.
Good point. And they got to make sure they bring a C major diatonic harmonica if they're going to be in the same key and do what we want to do.
Okay.
But yeah, man, thank you very
Absolutely.
much. Thanks for having me on.
You got it. It's Lee Oscar and his friends are going to be performing at the end of the Wanda Fuca Festival. They're going to be wrapping things up basically on Sunday night on the main stage there, but plenty to see all weekend long. Go to jffa.org where you can also learn a little bit about getting into the workshop too for learning how to play that riff. From the band War and Lowrider. We're going to take a break. We're going to be talking with another of the acts, one that's going to be opening up things on Friday night at the festival right after this.
I understand that as our world becomes more automated, receiving personalized service from a real person is more meaningful than ever. I'm Dan Shappy, and as a farmer's agent, I know a thing or two about how to help you select the insurance you want so you can
protect what matters most.
Call 360-681-0696 to learn more and chat with me, a real person and experienced farmer's agent, today.
We are farmers. Bum, ba-dum, bum, 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 bum.
Underwritten by Farmers Truck Fire Insurance Exchanges and Affiliates. Products not available in every state.
Red Carpet Car Wash in Carlsberg is always adding to the list of things they provide to keep your vehicle looking brand new. The full detail shop is just one more service to check off that list. Not only will your interior and exterior shine, your engine will sparkle too. Red Carpet is also getting some winter upgrades, including new equipment in the manual bay and new vacuums. Call Kyle today and let him get you scheduled for your red carpet treatment Tuesday through Saturday. 360-461-0826.
Hello, this is Amanda Huff with Swim Valley and Harper Ridgeview Funeral Chapels. I'd like to take a moment to tell you about a new, exciting, and environmentally friendly development in the funeral industry. It's called natural organic reduction, or simply terramation. Perhaps you've heard of it. Terramation is a process in which the body, after death, is returned to the earth in a carbon-neutral, eco-friendly manner. The process takes place in a controlled environment, and all that remains is a natural, odorless, compost-like material. If you'd like more information about terramation and advanced planning, call us today at Harper Ridgeview in Port Angeles or Swim Valley Chapel and Swim, and one of our knowledgeable and caring funeral professionals will assist you in answering your questions. Harper Ridgeview and Swim Valley Funeral Chapels, because your loved ones deserve the best.
The 80th Annual Mason County Forest Festival is May 30th through June 2nd. Believe in Bunyan and Babe. Carnival runs Thursday through Sunday in downtown Shelton. Presale ticket info at MasonCountyForestFestival.com. Smokey Bear's 80th birthday party is a family fun event Friday night from 6 till 9 at the Shelton Civic Center event lot. Saturday, it's the Goldsboro Creek Run, Walk, or Jog, Firefighters Pancake Breakfast, Family and Pet Parade, and the Paul Bunyan Grand Parade. Logging competition and vendors at Loop Field starting at 12:30. Watch men's Super 6 and women's Featured 4 competitions. Plus speed climbing, chainsaw milling, log rolling, and more. Enjoy Saturday night's free family event, Rock in the Forest, with live music, and then the spectacular fireworks display. Sunday morning, the Shelton Car Show-Off starts at 10 on Olympic Highway North. Details at MasonCountyForestFestival.com. The 80th Annual Mason County Forest Festival, May 30th through June 2nd. Sponsored by Lynch Creek Farm, Mankey Lumber Company, Explore Hood Canal, and Steel.
Back with more on the program. We're going to talk now on the other side of the festival. We talked with the closing act. We're going to talk with one of the opening acts. The big headline on Friday night is Petty Fever. 8:30 they take the stage, the main stage at the Wanda Fuca Festival in the Vern Burton here in Port Angeles. And from Petty Fever, we have Frank Murray joining us. Frank, thanks for spending a few minutes with our listeners.
Hey, how you doing?
I'm doing great. I've had the chance to see you a couple of times do your show. You guys, you know what? You look, you sound. It's Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers when you come see your fabulous tribute. So I have to ask, how did you get started doing this tribute show? And it really, I mean, you look like him, you play like him, the whole thing. I mean, right down to even the instruments in some cases.
Yeah, you know, it's something I really didn't have to try to do. Ironically, it just I've been playing Teddy's music since he came out on the radio back in like late '76, and playing and I had similar influences growing up, you know, in my musical upbringing. You know, Beatles, the Byrds, Elvis, all the usual suspects, and yeah, it just everything just kind of fell in place, and my vocal range is pretty much the same, and so I had agents. I played a lot of Petty songs in some of my bands back in the 80s and 90s, and or actually 70s, 80s, and 90s, and we mixed them in with our own songs and such. And in the 90s, I had a few agents I worked with suggest I do a Tom Petty tribute, and I laughed at them at the time. It's like, yeah, I don't think so. And I'd rather play my own songs, and if I'm going to put that much work into something. And anyway, in about 2009, I was doing a cover band with a bunch of friends, and we had a lot of Petty songs at that time, and we got offered to open for a Rolling Stones tribute in Hillsboro, Oregon, at a theater, and they asked if we could put together a long set of Petty, and it's like, yeah, that's not a problem. So we did it. We did the show. It was about maybe 400 people. It was a full room, and anyway, they just loved it, and so I was thinking, well, this is kind of fun. So I put in my, let my marketing brain kick in, and we put the band together and just started going out and playing, and it's been nonstop ever since. And same guys. This is our 15th anniversary year
with your same band. So you have not changed your lineup since you started back then.
No, we only added a guy during COVID when we were shut down. We had been a 5-piece up to then, and a buddy of mine, great bass player, who's now the bass player for Journey.
Oh well.
Long story. He was in the band for about 6 months. He talked me into adding a 6th member, and I'm really glad he did, because our bass player then played everything, so we put him in the Scott Thurston role of Petty's band, which is the multi-instrumentalist, and so that's the missing link.
Yeah, I was going to say you became more like the Heartbreakers then, right? You're just about fully cloned, if you will.
Yeah. It was the missing link, because he can play those extra keyboard parts, extra guitar parts, shakers, you name it, and not to mention another vocal. So, yeah. Anyway, so but same guys. I mean, how many bands can say they've had the same guys in the band for 15 years?
Not many. Maybe the Heartbreakers. That's about it. Anyway, there you go.
Yeah.
So, Frank, you look like Tom Petty too. Is that always? Have you always? People said, you know what, you look kind of like Tom as well when they heard you play.
Yeah, I got that a lot.
Yeah,
and it depends on. I've kind of gone full circle. I mean, the haircut I have now is what I had growing up in school. So it evolved over time. In the '80s, everybody's putting Aquanet in their hair, so I did that for a while, and got it asphyxiated from the smell. But
What, I think, and probably some of your staying power, you might agree. I mean, most everybody likes Tom Petty songs. He covers, almost anybody's favorite genre. That if you play a Tom Petty song, they tend to like it, whether they're a classic rock fan or not. People say, "Hey, I dig that." Do you find that might be part of your, your staying power, as I said?
That's the thing about Petty. He has such a diverse musical demographic. Country people like him.
Yeah.
Rock people like him. The in-betweeners like him. Because he's got something for everybody. I mean, there's even in June there's an album called Petty Country coming out, where all the major artists are doing country versions of Petty hits.
Yeah, it makes sense. I can see that.
But he's like, I would, he's right up there with the Beatle in terms of, as a songwriter. He's just, his songs are timeless.
Absolutely.
It's such a great songwriter. You know, I've been hoping that some of that would rub off on me. just
through
a little
osmosis,
bit.
maybe, right?
Osmosis, you know, it helped. You know, he's just a brilliant songwriter.
Yeah.
You know?
And, well, I'll just say folks need to come out and check you guys out. Like I said, I've seen you. It's been a number of years ago, but you do a terrific show, and you do feel like you're going to a Petty show. And all the great songs and the sound is there and all of that. So, Frank, we look forward to seeing you up here in just a couple of days on Friday night at the Vern Burton. Should be a great show as you kind of kick off the first night of the festival.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. It'll be fun. You know, we just have a great time playing. So,
well, bring it on up. We'll see you Friday. Okay.
Okay, sounds
right.
good.
That's great. That's
All
Frank Murray, Tom Petty. In Petty Fever, the Tom Petty tribute band, which will be playing on Friday evening, 8:30. They take the stage, 8:30 till 10 at the Vern Burton. It's day one on Friday, this Friday, for the Juan de Fuca Festival. We'll be back with more right after this.
When shopping for building supplies, lumber, home goods, or hardware items, are you traveling to one of those big box stores? When you wander those big box store aisles, how's that customer service? Absent? Possibly lacking in knowledge?
I don't know.
At Angelus Millwork and Hartnaggles, we have 2 convenient Port Angeles locations, and each one is far from the big box store experience.
Yay!
Since our stores are employee-owned, each one of us has a vested interest in how we serve and treat our customers. You won't find us hiding in the back aisle or turning the other way when you make eye contact for help.
They can't see me if I can't see them.
We're excited to share our day with you while making sure we set the bar high for what true customer service is all about. So if you're looking for a hometown building supply store that treats their customers like next-door neighbors, has deep knowledge on building products while continually supporting the local community, then avoid those trips out of town and come see us today. Angelus Millwork and Hartnagel Building Supply. Building homes, building community since 1906.
Building a future, sharing a dream. Working together, we're on the same team.
At Straight View Credit Union, we know that buying a home is a big decision, and that's why we're committed to offering local decisions made by local decision makers. Our mortgage team is comprised of experienced professionals who are intimately familiar with the Clallam County housing market, ensuring that you get the personalized attention and expertise you deserve. We're here to help you navigate the home buying process and make the best decisions for your unique financial situation. Plus, as a member-owned cooperative, we prioritize the needs of our members and our local community over profits. That's why we're proud to offer great mortgage rates that help support our members' dreams of homeownership. Straight View Credit Union, your trusted local financial partner. Visit us